everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, so Sister Wives, it's a double doozy or a double dip or a double header of Sister Wives content. And I have some fan speculation or some discussion that we need to have about the season finale. So we've talked about some of the different things that came up on this past episode or the final episode of season 14, but I think we need to kind of go a little bit deeper. I touched on an issue that came up in between Maddie and Meri last year, and I think we need to sort of dive a little bit deeper into this because in the season finale, Janelle and Christine, while sitting on the couch with Robin and Meri, or without Robin and Meri, they talked about why Robin and why Meri weren't at the birth for Evie, Maddie's daughter. The explanation given by Janelle was that Meri is working a lot, which is true. Meri does have a very busy business selling her t-shirts and leggings through the MLM. And with that being said, there could be some truth that she wasn't coming or wasn't there because of work. And then there was this whole thing about Robin. She's just so busy with her little kids. Through the season, though, we didn't see a lot of connection at all between the sister wives, maybe minimal at best. Anytime the sister wives got together privately, it was always either Christine and Janelle, or there was a one episode where Robin and Meri got together outside of the wives. So what does this mean? It means that a lot of people think that Janelle's explanation about Robin and Meri not being at the birth for Maddie of her daughter Evie had nothing to do with the fact that Meri was working and more to do with the previous relationship that Meri and Maddie had. So let's talk a little bit more in depth about what happened. Okay, so in 2019, Meri makes this post and she talks about how someone is not pulling their weight on her team selling products through LuLaRoe or LuLaRoe, whatever you want to call it. And she makes this claim that someone on her team isn't putting in a full-time effort. This prompted Maddie to respond via Twitter. And the tweet sort of came out of nowhere. Now, I should note that around the same time that Meri made this comment, Christine started to sell LLR. Christine and her daughter, Mykelti, both sell and have teams at this point in time. Meri was the first of the family to do so. When Meri started selling, Maddie was underneath her and worked for Meri. So she started her own LLR business. She was, Meri was sort of her upline. And Meri makes the statement that someone on her team is not pulling their weight. Got it? So what happens? Well, Maddie tweets this and she says, try being scared of someone your whole effing life. And she plays like she's the one who's hurting. She was a monster. Now she's attacking one of the few safety nets you had. No, check again. So the safety net would have been her company, LLR, where she's making money to help her family. Maddie's husband, Caleb, works as a elevator mechanic. Now, while they can make decent money, I'm assuming that Maddie was trying to supplement the family's income through her business with LLR. She continued to say, you can't subtweet and not expect retaliation. Loyalty goes to those who were always kind. And then she said, there is nothing like dealing with an human your whole life and finally having the freedom to not have anything to do with her. So she referred to someone in her life as someone that was always there and a monster and abusive, which had a lot of people wondering, is she talking about Meri? The tweets coincided. They really coincided. It was like Meri put out her statement and then Maddie does this. After this happens, Maddie ends up deleting her Twitter and then Meri deletes her tweet. But Maddie left Meri's team and does not sell LLR under Meri anymore. Could this be why Meri was not at the birth of Evie? Another thing that happened this season was that Cody, during an episode where Cody and Meri went to see a therapist, he talked to the therapist about how Meri does not have good relationships with some of the older children. In the book, Becoming Sister Wives, Meri actually talked that in the early days of parenting, Janelle and Cody were working and she was at home quite frequently with the children, and she took care of the kids during that time. She mentioned that her discipline was a lot more strict than some of the other mothers, and because she doesn't allow the kids to get away with some of the same things and has different thoughts about what should and shouldn't be allowed by a child, that did create some conflicts between her and the wives. There was one incident that she and Christine both talked about in the early days where she scolded some of the boys that left Christine in tears and really sort of, as Christine put it, destroyed their relationship. Now, Maddie is insinuating that there's someone from her life and that she refers to as a she who was doing things to them as children. Now, Maddie's tweeting a year ago saying, try imagine having that in your life and now you don't have to deal with them and the freedom that you have from that. And stop calling me out, Meri, and trying to take away my safety net, Meri, of the money that I have, Meri. That was my impression. Now, fans immediately put the two together. And then knowing that Meri was not at the birth of Axel nor at the birth of Evie has a lot of people believing that this so-called feud does exist. And then Cody further amplifying things by insisting that Meri doesn't have good relationships with some of the older kids. So with Meri's own admissions from the book Sister Wives, Becoming Sister Wives, talking about how her discipline did upset her sister wives, is there any sort of suggestion that maybe she was more firm on them, perhaps not as kind to the kids, perhaps maybe physical with the kids? That I don't know. The problem with the book is that it really glosses over so much of the history. They don't go into detail about really anything. And when we met the Sister Wives in 2010, Mariah was a teenager, as were the other like older kids. So Maddie, Mariah, McKelty, Aspen, they were all older. So we don't know how they were treated when they were younger, because by the time we met them, they were already teenagers. So we don't really know. And at the time we met them, Christine at that point was the house mom. She even referred to herself in the first season as the house mom. And we know that Christine has a little bit more of a flexible background, flexible sort of personality. She is a little bit softer with the kids and has more of sort of that loving heart. And Maddie and Christine have a very close relationship. Even on this past episode, Janelle basically said, Christine helped raise Maddie and she has an extremely close relationship with her, and Maddie looks at Christine as a mother. It's clear that Maddie's relationship with Christine is tight, but it's not with Meri. And it being that Robin came into this family in such a late time, it's safe to say that Robin has zero to no relationship with the older kids, because in the book, Robin even talks about how the kids, the older kids in particular, really didn't take to her or even really develop much of a relationship with her, because she came in, she brought kids. It was this new thing. The family didn't blend the way that they wanted us to think it did. And the kids in the book, she said, didn't take her seriously. So if she was never able to really establish any sort of strength with those kids, and then they move out and leave, of course she's not going to be there. It has nothing to do with the fact that she has younger kids, in my opinion, and it has everything to do with the fact that she likely has zero to no relationship with Maddie, and Maddie has no relationship with Meri anymore. So, where does this stand? I think based on everything we've seen on social media, it's fair to say that the relationship between Meri and Cody is dead. Whether or not she'll leave, that's unknown. Meri has a really healthy bank account with her job and with her work. And so I think part of the reason she might stay, in my opinion, could be she brings in a lot of money for that family. And Cody just might not want to let that go. At this point in time, she's still in Flagstaff. The family's still in Flagstaff. She doesn't stay at all with Cody. Cody doesn't stay at all with her. And this is going to have to, we're going to have to wait and see. I don't know if the show is coming back. I just did a video on whether or not they will be coming back. You can click that up here. And if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, make sure you put them below before we go. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button down here, and let me know that you like this content. All right, you guys, I'll be back later with more. Bye.